This is Goals with Soul, the podcast for visionary coaches and entrepreneurs, building your business with inspired action. In alignment with your mission and authentic message, so you can create impact for your soul clients and feel lit up every day. I'm your host, Jo Ingram, married mum of 3 daughters from London and a former ad agency director turned business coach and strategist. In Goals with Soul, we blend revenue generation with energetics, marketing strategies with pranic healing, and ambitious business goals with our soul's desires. If you're looking to build your business with less efforting and more ease, this is the podcast for you. Let's dive in. Welcome to Goals with Soul. I'm Joanna Ingram, and today we're talking about why it can be so difficult to simply get clients, especially if you're an intuitive-led spiritual coach who desires to simply attract your most aligned clients. And I see this over and over again in our industry, certainly at the beginning of my own business, and with pretty much every client I've ever worked with. We've come from a place of simply being 100% behind the goal of getting clients. And I get it, of course. I mean, that was my goal too at the very beginning of my business. I sat down and said, right, how am I going to get clients? Because clearly clients equals sales equals money, right? And we launch our business with the desire to, of course, enjoy our work and love what we do and serve and create impact. But underlying all of that is supporting ourselves, our families, and going beyond that, living in abundance, having overflow, creating our best lives. And it can be so incredibly frustrating when things don't all come together. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not making any money. Some of my most treasured clients are multiple 6-figure clients who have already proven that they can make money, but yet things aren't coming together in their business in a way that really lights them up, brings them joy, and attracts the clients that they most want to work with. And of course, at the other end of the spectrum, even after we've made some money, we can go through periods of real stagnancy in growth. I've experienced it and I've seen it in my clients, having those plateaus of our income that can last 3 months, 6 months, or even more. We're starting to question, why is it I'm not growing? I seem to be doing all the things that I'm told to do and perhaps all the things that worked in the past. And it's not surprising that it's not a rare situation to kind of fall into this. Because if you look around in the industry, so many business mentors are telling you that there's a silver bullet strategy that you should and must be using. A strategy that works for them on repeat. And that if you can only learn this one thing, you're going to solve all your problems. So of course, what do? You go out and you invest, you learn the thing. And sometimes it works a little bit, right? Sometimes it doesn't work at all. Sometimes you don't even follow it through. So you try another strategy and another. And certainly if you've been in business at least a couple of years, you are going to have an inbox full of trainings and access to a number of portals that have phenomenal value there in exactly what you've got to do. And yet it's not working. You've been trying all the things. I mean, some of the things I typically see coaches trying are like building their audience. We're told audience growth equals sales growth. But you're in the middle of building your audience and you're putting all that effort, dropping into Instagram every day and trying to hack the algorithm and all the things. But even if you are seeing incremental growth in your audience, perhaps you're finding that they're not necessarily your perfect fit clients. Perhaps you're discovering that they're not taking the actions. They're not dropping into your DMs and requesting to work with you in exactly the way that you desired. Or when they are, and you start to get to know them a bit better, you're realizing that perhaps they're not the clients that I'm really seeking, even if you're onboarding them. Another classic misdirection I often see for coaches that really want to up-level their progress, up-level their brand, put new energy into their business is focusing on their website or the look in general. So you think, okay, if I want to attract premium clients, I need a premium look. So you tinker with the copy, perhaps you engage with copywriters, faffing around with the different colors, sitting in Canva, playing around with fonts, and perhaps finding new glossy images late into the evening, long beyond when you said that you were actually going to take it easy, chill, enjoy a bit of the summer sunshine. and perhaps even getting some new brand photos taken. Now, none of those are a bad thing to do for your business. That's certainly not what I'm saying. But I see so many people that leap into that as the solution for why they're not attracting their most aligned clients, and then wondering why, after putting all that energy and effort into re-energizing their look, they're still in the same position they were before. Another one that crops up, and I did this myself more than once, is wondering if it's your offers or your containers that aren't quite appealing to those people you want to work with. So you start chopping and changing your containers and offers, trying out shorter time lengths or different ways of delivering. But behind all of that is a desire to charge more, to work with people that are really ready for higher levels of investment. But instead, you get stuck in that metric of how many signups can I get? Can I lower the price and get more signups? And truthfully, I've discovered that metric, just sign up numbers, is actually a metric of self-respect. And we feel so awful when those people aren't jumping into our containers. I was left a message yesterday by a coach I adore, somebody I've helped out in the past. And she simply told me that she'd been following this strategy, a strategy that I've dived into myself. It's a good strategy. It's a particular email strategy where you send a series of video emails. And she's wondering why it didn't work. She didn't get any signups, even though she did exactly what her business coach had told her. And sadly, that isn't unusual. And even if you just see that glimmer of progress, you can oftentimes find that following the proven strategy that is telling you to do it exactly this or that way simply isn't sticking. And look, before you know it, you can be 2 years or more into this coaching business roller coaster of finding something, then not finding it. And all the time, you're simply finding that the goal of getting clients is actually creating a whole lot of pain in the ass rather than lighting you up and thrilling you and making things easy as, of course, you desire it to be for your business. So instead of completely leaning into strategies that are delivering clients that aren't lighting you up, what you really want, of course, is hell yes clients. And let me define what I mean, because that term's bandied around a fair amount in our industry, hell yes clients. I believe hell yes clients are those that, of course, are fully on board with wanting to join you and do that work with whatever your specialism truly is. But they're willing to invest not just their money, but their time and their energy in their next level success. If you just wanted money, you wouldn't be in this industry. There are other ways of earning money that don't put your heart on the line all the time and don't lead to so many opportunities for us to question ourselves. And on the flip side, on the plus pro side, so many opportunities to up-level our own self-development, our own energetics. You're invested in this because you want to work with people that really want the results and get the results. And they are people that are going to follow your process with excitement and momentum. They're going to lean in. They're going to be so enthusiastic. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be on your case the whole time going more, what next? They're people that are just so confident and comfortable in the fact that they know who they are, that they're taking the actions, the ones that you know will take them to the finish line and get them that result. And of course, they get the phenomenal results that they came to you for. And all the beautiful things that happen as a result of that for your business, those glowing testimonials and those referrals, and of course, those rebookings. I know yesterday I was coaching a client I've been working with in a container for about 3 months. We're not even at our last session. And she said, how can I sign up with you again? And I sat back for a minute. And of course, I was delighted because she really is a dream client. But it led me also to just remind myself that when you work with dream clients, not only are they fun and joyful to work with, but they want the next level and you can move with them. You can create alongside them. And that really is an amazing boost, not just to the excitement that you feel, but to your bottom line. It's so much easier to retain a client than it is to acquire a new client. And I tell you this from 20 years working in marketing, the advertising industry. We know in that industry that when we start analysing our data, what we pay for the acquisition of a new client is significantly higher than the work it takes and the dedication and the relationships to simply retain an amazing client. So when you attract the right people and you put in the right energy behind it and everything comes together, you simply get to increase your bottom line and increase your joy by working with them more. And this kind of leads to the magical ingredient that I'll say you secretly desire, but perhaps not so secretly. And this is really what my whole business is designed behind, because this was the killer moment for me when I was in a state of burnout back, 6-8 months into my business. And I literally stepped away from everything I was doing for about 3 months because I just couldn't understand why I was working so hard and getting so little in terms of results in return. And I realized that I wasn't having a great deal of fun. And what I really wanted was getting clients who make me feel energized and excited every single time I work with them. So you feel those goosebumps of alignment just when you see their name on the calendar. You know the difference, when you open up your calendar for the week or for that day and you go, right, what have I got going on? The difference between seeing a client that goes, oh, that's going to be an hour of my life, that's going to be hard work, or even the fear, oh gosh, are they getting the results? How are they going to show up? Am I doing the best job I can do? That kind of energy that leads you, yes, into anxiety and into your business, into over-efforting and over-proving and getting into the state that the energetics are just misaligned within your business. What you really want, like I do, is to work with those clients that make you feel excited and energized, where you simply come together with an incredible co-creational energy that excites you and gets them all the results they want. And that's what I want to define, because it's not about getting any clients, but it's about getting aligned clients who light you up. And there's a massive difference when you're building your business. The difference between that jumping into over delivery and over proving yourself that leads you to putting in too many hours, feeling anxiety. I know for me, I was waking up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning thinking, oh, what else can I do for that client? Have I really delivered enough? And feeling like I was always on the back foot. Now, this is a completely different feeling to that empowered, boundaried energy that happens when you move from over-efforting to your misaligned clients to getting that joy of attracting and working with clients who are a perfect fit. And that's when all those silver bullet strategies that I was talking about before are suddenly going to work for you, because you wouldn't feel like something was missing. I never say that the strategies, all those business strategies don't work. Of course, any strategy can work. If that wasn't the case, we wouldn't have people all over the internet talking about that strategy that's worked miracles for them. And I know you've seen magic and miracles in the past with certain strategies. We all have, because there are strategies that are proven to work, but only if you're in alignment with those strategies in the first place. And secondly, you've made that leap from the misaligned, energy draining client attraction to attracting perfect fit clients. And that is where messaging makes all the difference. The messaging part is what I consider like the ring that rules them all. Everything else is going to work if you are completely aligned with your specific, authentic, aligned messaging strategy. So if that's something that is a missing piece in your business, I'm going to share with you today, right now, some questions that you need to ask yourself right away that are going to help you today, this week, this month, start stepping towards actual client attraction of those clients that you really want to work with. So you can confidently lean into any audience building or client acquisition strategy, and it will finally start making traction. It will start working. So first question. What is it you really want to say? And this is the very first question I always ask my clients with my brand epics process. It goes right back to basics of the you in your business. And it's incredible the times I find that someone's hiding something that is so aligned for them. And when I help them join the missing dots, suddenly it all comes together and it makes sense. So what is it you're hiding that could be stopping you right now from manifesting your most elevated client attraction? And I promise you, even if your business is making multiple 5 or even 6 figures, if you're hiding something that really is within your gift, it's within your zone of genius, and it's the thing that's going to excite you most, that's going to be one of the key reasons that you'll invite in stagnancy and plateaus in your growth. So next up, how do you stand out with next level industry positioning? Showing your expertise, elevating your authority, and being that person in the industry that's a thought leader on your subject is going to attract those most elevated, those most aligned clients. And sometimes it's very difficult to see why you're not expressing that within your messaging. One of the keys within my aligned client code is to specifically lean into authority elevating frameworks to really develop the trust aspect of know, like, and trust. Because that's the difference between having messaging that might get you some vanity metrics, those likes and those comments that too many coaches put all their self-worth behind, and getting messaging that truly adds income to your bottom line and thrilling impact to the work that you do. So ask yourself, who exactly is your perfect fit client and what do they need to hear from you right now? Too frequently, I find that people are targeting those clients that are really below the elevated level that they should be aiming for. And yeah, we know the reasons behind that. We're all full of certain amounts of imposter syndrome and fear of judgment and thinking, am I good enough? Who am I to do that? And one of the biggest shifts I made in my business was to decide that I get to work with people who are elevated, not necessarily in terms of their income. It can be in terms of their attitude, in what they're creating and how they want to show up in the world. And when you make that transition, you show up very differently. You show up differently energetically. You show up completely differently in your messaging. Your marketing suddenly feels aligned and easy. So you're showing up visibly a lot more. So when you start nailing your aligned avatar, as I call it, you start stepping into perfect fit client attraction. And that's why that piece for me is always the fundamental piece I cover in every container I have. It's upfront and it's done one-to-one, because that co-creation and that download, that joining the dots is something that people find very difficult to do for themselves. And that's why I suddenly realized a few months ago, I was looking at my books at who I was starting to work with more and more. And I was seeing that I was starting to work with copywriters, business coaches, people that actually told me straight up, Joanna, I do this for my clients and I have a phenomenal success rate, but gosh, I'm stuck doing it for myself. And I get it. I respect that so much. I respect the vulnerability it takes to say, actually, I want this help for myself right now because I'll be putting my business on the back burner because I'm so busy helping others. And I'm seeing my business not head in the right direction because my messaging isn't really elevated anymore. It isn't leaning into and attracting those clients that I know I'm ready to work with. And if you answer these questions, you'll see that they are the path to the elevated brand messaging that I'm talking about. And of course, there are so many more questions, but these are the ones I want to invite you to start thinking about today because they're the fundamental starting point that creates expansive and aligned client attraction. And it's in that way that you get to work with the clients that thrill you and not just feed your revenue spreadsheet, but your soul. And I found personally that hitting 10K or even 20K months has been a happy byproduct of attracting those most aligned clients. It hasn't come from an amazing new strategy that I've suddenly implemented. It's come from being in complete alignment with my messaging and expressing it in elevated and excited ways in my marketing. And it was only that way that really stopped the busy work that I had got so used to. So I could fill my weeks with what I love to do most. And, I really had to think about what I love to do. And it's not just business related. Creating a life for ourselves involves creating ease in our business so we can access that joy and fun in all the other places. So yeah, business wise, I get so much excitement working one-to-one with my clients. And more recently, since I launched my aligned messaging accelerator, I'm having phenomenal excitement and joy helping the women in that container and seeing them stepping into their next level messaging and getting phenomenal results. I was in my Facebook group with them this morning, and there's a beautiful message left by one of my clients who has just launched her first group program off the back of elevating her messaging. She was working one-to-one with clients, was completely burned out, identified straight away that she was made for groups, even though she couldn't see that for herself. And now it's happened. And it happened because we elevated that brand messaging. She knew the strategies. And in fact, as a result of elevating her brand messaging, she actually invested a 5-figure sum in a completely new strategy and told me that she was the lead student because she'd done all the messaging work. So she leapt through the first module straight into implementation and action and is already seeing results where she's attracting cold clients into a 5-figure offer, which is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm so excited to see the results that come from elevating that brand messaging as the starting point, even if you're progressing in your business, to go back to those strategies or implement new ones that suddenly work, suddenly create so much alignment in your business. And that's enabling her to start doing things in her life that she's been putting off for way too long. And I looked at what I'm loving doing. I love sitting down with my twins and watching TikToks and learning the dances. They're 12 years old and they love learning TikTok dances and doing fun, just irreverent things like that. And I missed out on a lot of that because I was busy up on my office doing the sorts of work that I now realize are busy work. And if you've watched a lot of my content, you'll probably see me at the pottery studio, which has been a revelation. And pottery can take a lot of time because you really have to get into it with the clay. So I head off to the pottery studio at least twice a week for 3 or 4 hours, and I create my wobbly little pots, which are becoming less wobbly by the week, and creating things that I'm gifting to friends. And one day I would love to share with my clients. And I'm putting them on all the surfaces of my house and serving olives and hummus in them. Now it's summer and we're sitting outside, and it's giving me so much joy. So what does your perfect week look like? And whatever it is, design it in a way that you can actually create that in your life now, not in the future at some time when your business is making more money or certain things have changed, because it actually starts with designing your life towards ease. And for me and for all my clients, it's always started with that aligned and authentic brand messaging, because that's what creates the foundation for aligned client attraction. So stop bouncing around from strategy to strategy. And if this is resonating, get back to the authentic brilliance that supercharges your messaging and, of course, resonates deeply with your soul clients. And if you're curious about how working with me could shine that spotlight and join those dots to create your client messaging alignment for your specific niche, business, personality, desires, simply send me a message over on Instagram saying hell yes, and I'll share the details. I am at iamjo.ingram over on Instagram. And if you're not on the gram, you can email me. I'm jo@iamjoingram.com. So to your inspired action, have a beautiful week. Take care. Bye now.